What is up, everybody? It is Charlie with Raging Entertainment. Today's video, I wanted to go over movies that I believe that deserve 4K releases by now, in my opinion. Some have been re-released from, like, say, DVD to Blu-ray, and I got one of those titles in here. It was from the Disney Movie Club, so hopefully that'll be a hint for you. But the first one that I have on my list stars Christina Ricci, of course, and Bill Pullman, and that's to one of the 90s classic family movies, Casper. So I feel like that this one does deserve a 4K. So when this Steelbook came out, I was hoping this could have been a 4K. But in all reality, it actually just was a Steelbook release, and there was no remastered Blu-ray, no nothing, just its standard Blu-ray that it already had, just with an upgraded case, basically. But I feel that Casper definitely deserves it. It's got great cinematography, if anything, that deserves the 4K treatment. And I know that this is just a standard 1080p. It doesn't look that bad, but when you watch it, especially like, say, on a 4K TV, and you look at the transfer itself, it just kind of looks like a watercolor painting almost, in a sense. But this is one that I would definitely recommend to the studios. I believe, even though it doesn't tell me on here, the studio... Wait, hold on, does it? Yes, it does. Universal. So Universal Pictures is the one that did this one. So Universal, if you are watching, you need to give this one a 4K transfer. It needs it. It's a great family movie, and I would definitely buy it. But that's one right there. And then, of course, this one just recently came out, Steelbook-wise. Not 4K at all, but the Steelbook looks great. Stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, as well as Raul Julia. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And that's Street Fighter. You know, I mean, this movie, even though as cheesy as it is, I love the hell out of it. Kind of like the old Mortal Kombat movie, you know, the very first one. Not the 2021, the 90s one, the very first one. As cheesy as they are, I love those movies. Even with the Super Mario Brothers movie, I loved it. Even though I didn't really follow the game too much, but I still enjoyed it. But this one, it deserves a 4K, especially for the type of movie that it is. It just screams 4K. I need a 4K, you know? And is this one tell me the studio as well? It's kind of hard to tell. Can't really tell on this one. Anyway, but the point is that this one... Oh, Universal. This one's another Universal. So this one actually has the little thing on the back where it's got the info. But, yeah, this one... Universal, you need to give this one a 4K as well, because this one deserves it, just like Casper and all the movies that I'm going to mention right now. I've only done 5 today, because I figured maybe I would do this as like a little mini-series in a sense, grab movies from my collection and then show you what I believe deserves a 4K. But this one, I definitely strongly suggest that Universal, you give both Casper and Street Fighter the proper 4K transfer, release and all that, and you definitely know I will go out and buy them. So that one's out of the way. Now this one is a Sylvester Stallone movie, in a sense. Sorry, let me say that again. Now the next one right here is Sylvester Stallone movie collection again. And it's not the Expendables, because those have 4Ks. And Rambo has 4Ks to all of its movies. Now, the way that they did Rambo, I think they should do the same thing for this one. And that's to the Rocky movie collection. This one deserves a 4K. This is all the movies. This is all the movies, not including the Creed movies, but this is all the Rocky movies. And, of course, these are the Blu-rays. Which studio did this one? Let me see if I can find it. MGM, it looks like, was the one who... Oh, and Fox, 20th Century Fox. So they're the ones who did this, and I gotta say, you guys should turn this into a box set like you guys did with the Rambo, where it's individual steelbooks with that great steelbook casing all around it. This would look amazing, especially with the artwork that you can get from the movies. You could definitely turn this into a gorgeous 4K steelbook collection. Not just one movie, all the movies. And I mean all the movies. I think this is like, what, 1 through 5? I think it's... No, 6. Because it's, yeah, it's got to be 6. Yeah, 6 movies. Because I almost forgot there was a 6th movie. And I think that one's just called Balboa or something like that. I can't remember. I haven't watched these movies in a good long while now. Probably should pop one in today because I haven't seen them in forever. But you guys definitely need to give this the 4K treatment. Now, I understand that number 4 was supposed to get a 4K release last year. Did not come out. Never came. No nothing. It's probably available digitally, but not physically. And we would love to have them physically, and I recommend it in the 4K steelbook format, the way it was done for the Rambo collection, in my opinion, where it's got the nice steelbook, casing around it, as well as the steel books individually, just like the Rambo one. But that's just my opinion. You guys should do this. MGM, Fox, even though Fox is now owned by Disney, but you guys should do that. That's one that I would definitely recommend. And this one is kind of like a drama. It's a very good movie. It's got its comedic parts in it, but it's meant to be kind of a serious movie in a way. It's sad, it's heart-wrenching, it makes you cry. It's one of those types of movies. It's a tearjerker, and I just love this movie. It's got Kathy Bates in it, of course, and that's Fried Green Tomatoes. This one, if I had to recommend, because I heard that Columbia Classics is doing a volume 3. I remember when they were having the voting poll for number 2, which I have up above me over here, even though you can't see it. But there was movie titles that they had in the voting, and this happened to be in it. So it would be nice if Columbia Classics, Sony, would take Fried Green Tomatoes and put that a part of the volume 3 set, or individual. It doesn't matter. As long as it comes out, that's all that really matters to me. I would gladly buy volume 3 if this came with it. No joke. I enjoyed this movie. It's such a great movie. It's a heart-wrenching movie. It's a funny movie. It's a sad movie. It's just all around a good movie. Great storytelling, all that kind of stuff. And in a way, I kind of call it a period piece because it takes place in a, early 1900s kind of deal, It's such a great movie. Definitely recommend it to anybody who has not seen it, for sure. But Kathy Bates, one of her best roles, in my opinion. Not just Misery, not just a movie called A Home of Our Own with Edward Furlong. I love Kathy Bates. She is a great actor, in my opinion. Love her to death. She's awesome. She's great in this film. It's almost like the story of becoming an independent woman, in a sense. It's all around great, and this deserves a 4K. And then the last in my collection, even though this one was recently released last year into the Blu-ray format, in my opinion, deserves a 4K release. And no joke, just by watching this movie, the visual effects that they have, if you were to give it the 4K treatment, would look amazing. No joke. It's got Sarah Jessica Parker in it. It's one of her movies that apparently she didn't really care for too much, or at least doesn't really like to talk about much. And I'm sure some of you can kind of guess that already. And that's Flight of the Navigator. And I'm actually, no joke, Instagram friends with the boy here. And not to brag or anything like that. It's not like I've asked him, to be on my channel so many times or anything like that. I have asked. Don't get me wrong. I have asked him if he wouldn't mind. He's a busy guy. He's an actor, I mean, he does a lot of, conventions and stuff like that, so I could understand why he's not able to. But he's a good guy. He does, reply to messages. He, is very interactive with his fans and stuff through Instagram, those who he does, actually chat with. And we've chatted a few times, and I let him know that I don't want to come off as one of those people that are needy, for his fame or something like that, because he's a good guy. He really is. But this one deserves the 4K treatment, in my opinion. Definitely. And Paul Rubens, who plays the voice of Max, the robot right there, basically, just all around great, fun Disney family adventure, in my opinion. One of the best classic 80s movies ever to come out in general from Disney during that time. But it definitely deserves the 4K treatment. I know that I only did 5 movies. Like I said, I'm going to probably do this as a regular in a sense, to where I'm doing this. Because I know I did this before, but then I ended up taking those videos down thinking I wasn't going to continue YouTube anymore. I've kind of gotten past the phase to where, like, I need to quit trying to think, like, oh, you're going to be big, you're going to be famous, when this should just be a hobby. Just a hobby, because I love doing these videos for you guys. I really do, and movies are my passion. I love movies to death. Flight of the Navigator, of course, being one of them. But, yeah, it's just amazing how many movies that are out there that could benefit so much from the 4K format. And I mean, hell, I know that there are licensing agreements and stuff that need to be distributed through other, businesses, but in my opinion, that shouldn't be an issue. You guys should just, because, I mean, there are consumers out there. I know DVDs still sell well, but there are people who still like to collect the 4Ks, still like to collect the Blu-rays, and even, like, say, movies that have no Blu-ray release. True Lies being one of them. That never got a Blu-ray release at all, except for, like, maybe overseas, but I think it's like an Italian copy or something like that. And it's not a US release, and that's the only way you can get it, and it's being determined if it's going to be a 4K release or what, kind of like skipping that whole Blu-ray jump and just going straight to the 4K format, which would be cool, don't get me wrong. But in my opinion, I think and feel and believe that a good portion of the movies that I see in my collection in general, and other, collectors that deserve 4Ks, need 4Ks. And I'll make another video, of course, other videos to let you know what those films I believe deserve it. Some have already been considered and possibly are being made. Might take some time, some get delayed, some get canceled. So we'll see what happens with some of those titles. But other than that, if you guys could, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. That way you're notified every time a video comes out. And let your friends know about me. Share my videos around and stuff. Comment down below. What would you like to see, on my channel? Whether it's movie reviews or the video I'm now showing you, or whatever it may be. Like, if you guys want to ask me a question of, like, do you have this movie or something like that? I can pull it out, or whatever it may be. And yeah, but other than that, you guys have a good day. Stay safe, stay tuned. Thank you.